Welcome back, my dear sisters. Thank you so much for such a heart melting, heartwarming, empowering, and thought provoking sharings. Alright, as of now, we continue. According to the document, our time is a time of trial. It is more difficult to live as a consecrated person in today's world. Again, it is more difficult to live as a consecrated person in today's world. True or false? Why? Sisters, like the Blessed Virgin Mary, let us ponder things in our hearts. The struggle for fidelity and lack of strength to persevere are experiences not only of today, but already in the history of religious and consecrated life since the beginning. According to Pope Francis, when the forever is weak, any reason is valid to live the path taken. True or false? May I have voices, please? True or false? Fidelity and coherence to the cause of Christ are not instant virtue. Virtue is not something we achieve through our own efforts. It is first and foremost gift of the Holy Spirit. And this would require from us a deep awareness of the human, spiritual, psychological, and moral implications of the vocation to the consecrated life. Okay, let us face each other. Please find a partner that you can face with. Alright? Ready? Are you facing somebody? Look at each other. If your number is odd, then you form 3 in one group. Look at each other. Face one another. According to Pope Francis, we are facing a hemorrhage that is weakening consecrated life and the very life of the Church. The abandonment of consecrated life worries us. Sure? Are we really worried? Are we worried with the hemorrhage that is also present in our province, in our institute? True or false? Okay, sisters, face me now. It is true that some live as an act of coherence because they recognized after serious discernment that they never had this vocation. However, others with the passage of time are no longer faithful. Very often, only after a few years after professing perpetual vows. What has happened? This phenomenon, according to the document, cannot be justified solely by referring to socio-cultural causes, nor addressed with a sense of resignation, which leads us to consider it as normal. Anyway, It's normal. Living this path is normal. Anyway, they are responsible for their decisions. Let them face the consequences of their decision. Is it normal that after a long period of initial formation, or for many years in consecrated life, one decides to separate from the institute? This is just normal. What do you think? What do we think? What happened in between? What happened? Okay, sisters, let us have a quiz. Please prepare your ball pens, your papers. Ready? Are you ready with your ball pens and with your papers? At the count of 5, everybody must be ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. According to your observations, experiences, expertise from the books you have read, or maybe from, call it like this, gossips that we have heard, what are the causes for abandonments or departures in consecrated life and secular institute? Again, what are the causes for abandonments or departures in consecrated life and secular institute? Let us see whether you are good doctors, or in the Philippines we say quack doctors. Let us see what are your diagnosis to this hemorrhage. You have 3 minutes to answer, sisters. Okay, sisters, maybe some of you are finished. Don't worry. Just put the important points and keep the answers with you. And again, like the Blessed Virgin Mary, we ponder things in our heart. Later, you will have time to look at it and see if they match with the causes that will be presented here. My dear sisters, let us all stand. Let us all embark in a journey. Let's go near the boat. The boat is safe. Let us enter to the boat. May I invite the sisters to stand and stay together if it is possible. Let us stay on or near where the boat is. So I assume everybody is on board. Okay? You can start paddling. Wait. Welcome on board, Capitular Sisters. Just a few notes for you to know the sea that we are immersed. We live immersed in the so-called culture of fragmentation, of the provisional. Our time now is dominated by consumeristic and commercialistic mindsets. Take time to observe where the wind is blowing: east, west, north, south. The wind of the Spirit may at times cause us discomfort and many times uncertainties, but also in there we can find the newness of God that is offered to us in this journey. I hope some of you brought with you your chairs so you can sit inside the boat while waiting. Please stand by. Announcements. Our boat will soon depart. Be sure that you are all safe and no sister is lost. Be sure that everybody is in. In case you observe from a sister symptoms of abandonment, remember these tips. What are we going to do when a sister is experiencing a period of difficulty? Fidelity, perseverance, tip 1. Some practical guidelines in document 8. The first step in identifying, even strategically, what to do and which steps to take in order to discern and prevent or to accompany through processes of support and care is to recognize that a sister is experiencing a period of difficulty. Second, in order to recognize, discern, accompany, it is necessary to have specific qualifications. And this would require a positive and effective interaction of professionals called to initiate paths of spiritual accompaniment, psychotherapy, and care. We are now living. Have a safe journey. Welcome to the stations of departure. These stations of departure are what we call causes for abandonments and departures in consecrated life and secular institute were coming from the many reports gathered around the world and studies conducted. Let us go down the boat and proceed to the first station of departure, which we also call Mother Station of Departure. Our boat attendant, Sister Nyati Laia, will come to guide us. Sister Nyati, please say hi to them. Sister Nyati, may I ask you to provide or bring chairs to the station? We would like to ensure that everybody will be comfortable as we do our pilgrimage. Sister Nyati, kindly bring them to the first station. Welcome to this first station or Mother Station of Departure. The primary living cause of abandonments, departures is Dun 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 dun! Sister Nyati, kindly unveil the first station. The primary leading cause of abandonment's departures is the lack of spiritual life, which is manifested through, or the manifestations and symptoms are, the lack of personal prayer, absence from community prayer, a superficiality in sacramental life, and a greater focus on activities. Let us take some moments of silence. Which among the manifestations can I identify myself with? Are you symptomatic or asymptomatic? Let us silently and humbly pick the manifestation sheet. Let this be a gentle reminder for us to take care of our vocation and the vocation of our sisters. Our Sister Nyati, can you please distribute the manifestation sheet? Now let us proceed to the second departure station. The current crisis of fidelity goes hand in hand with the crisis of identity and is linked to the sense of belongingness to the Institute. Welcome. The second cause for departures, the loss of a sense of belonging. The loss of a sense of belonging has a lot to do with the community or fraternal life, and wherein we slowly lose our affection towards the local community, the Institute, and the Church. And no wonder why members in the community will neglect or will have scarce participation during community moments and community events and the initiatives of the community. They don't have interest of what the community is doing. We also recognize a certain imbalance, a lack of balance between community and personal needs. The community in these cases is regarded only as an instrument to satisfy one's needs. The community is then reduced to a boarding house. Religious house becomes like a hotel in a restaurant. Some community members bring in their friends or even their families with them. No more boundaries inside the house. No more enclosure. Their friends or even their families become like the owners of the religious house. They seem to enter everywhere. When there are court cases, the community becomes like legal aids, financial support, and then eventually, these are people who live the communities. And that is why the Holy Father issued the motu proprio. In canon law, it refers to a document issued by the Pope and on his own initiative and personally signed by him, and it is legally binding. At times, the living from the Institute is not lawfully decided. otherwise it is. So, for example, some religious live temporarily in order to assist one's parents, and this is happening more and more. Exclaustration has also become an attraction, and it affects the contemplative life. Now, if one lives for a very long period of time, that person may eventually lose one's attachment and affection towards one's community. However, this is not one sided. It is experienced by both, a mutual experience, the one who asks to live for whatever reason, and the institute where he or she belongs. The institute that is composed of human person as well as the person who left, whether to help the family, to have exclaustration, both lost the attachment and affection towards each other. On the other side, the question linger. Why is it lost? Why the lost? Again, the question is for both sides, not pointing fingers, not blaming, but an invitation to look together, to gaze, and to listen.